Welcome to my channel. If you've ever casually glanced at the change in your pocket and assumed it was all ordinary, you might want to think again. Some coins, despite appearing mundane, hold fascinating stories, unexpected histories, and hidden value. And today, we're diving into one such coin, the 1991 United States quarter dollar, bearing the Roosevelt mint mark, P. A coin so common at first glance, yet, for some collectors, worth far more than its face value, up to $101, in fact. But how did this happen? Why does a coin still widely circulated fetch that kind of attention in the numismatic world? Let's rewind a little, to a time before this coin was ever minted. The year is 1991. The United States is experiencing a post-Cold War era, grappling with economic shifts, the Gulf War, and technological transformation. Amid this, the U.S. Mint continues its essential job, producing the coins that pass through the hands of millions of Americans every single day. Most of those coins, of course, will never be looked at twice. But occasionally, a coin leaves the mint that is destined for more than just buying gum or dropping into a vending machine. Occasionally, one becomes a treasure. Now, here's something important to clarify early on: when we talk about the 1991 quarter, we are not talking about a rare commemorative issue. It's not made of silver. It's not a proof coin, and it wasn't made in limited quantities. In fact, the 1991 P quarter was minted in vast numbers. Over 570 million coins were struck at the Philadelphia Mint that year. So, what makes this everyday coin so special? At first glance, this coin looks like any other Washington quarter from the late 20th century. So again, what's the story here? Why would anyone pay more than face value for a coin that isn't rare in the traditional sense? The answer, as it often is in the numismatic world, lies in the details: the fine print, the minting quirks, the condition of the coin, and sometimes even the seemingly mundane. The 1991 P quarter, while produced in high numbers, has gained attention because of a confluence of factors that make certain examples quite valuable. First, let's talk about strike quality. Many of the 1991 Philadelphia quarters suffer from weak strikes. This means the dies used to stamp the coins were often worn or misaligned, resulting in coins that lack sharp detail, especially in Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers. But every so often, collectors come across a 1991 P quarter with an exceptionally strong strike, crisp details, full rims, and clear lettering. These are often referred to as full strike examples, and they're highly desirable. Some 1991 P quarters have been found with striking anomalies: doubled dies, off-center strikes, misaligned dies, or even planchet errors where the coin was struck on the wrong metal blank. These mint errors are rare, and each one is unique. Their value depends on the type of error, the visibility, and collector demand. But some error coins from 1991 have sold for hundreds of dollars. So what about this idea that the 1991 quarter could be worth as much as $101? Well, it turns out, several recent sales have confirmed this possibility. A 1991 P quarter in top-grade condition, specifically those graded MS-67 by a reputable grading company, have sold for $100 or more at auction. One such coin recently fetched $101 due to its condition, and I appeal. For a coin that cost 25 cents to produce and has been sitting in pocket change for over 30 years, that's quite a return. Let's also not forget the historical context. 1991 marked a shift in the way we think about money. It was a transitional period in minting technology. The U.S. Mint was beginning to experiment more with new equipment, automated inspection, and digital design tools. While most coins were produced on modernized machinery, inconsistencies still crept in. Human oversight wasn't as involved as in earlier decades, which meant certain small errors went undetected, until collectors found them. In the past, collectors often focused on older coins, silver quarters, pre-1965 issues, rare 19th century coins. But today, a growing number of collectors are turning their attention to modern-era coins like the 1991 quarter. Why? Because many of these coins are undervalued and underappreciated. And as these coins age and the supply of well-preserved examples dwindles, their value only increases. Now let's bring things back full circle. Imagine holding a 1991 p quarter in your hand. Maybe it's just another coin. Maybe it's been sitting in a drawer for years, forgotten and dusty. Or maybe it's one of the rare, high-grade examples worth $100 or more. If you're lucky enough to find one with minimal wear, sharp detail, and a glossy luster, you may be looking at something special. To determine if your quarter is valuable, you'll want to check a few things. First, look closely at the strike. Are the details sharp and well-defined? Next, consider the condition. Is there minimal wear? No scratches or nicks? If it looks uncirculated, it might be worth submitting to a professional grading service. And lastly, check for errors, off-center images, unusual marks, or anything that seems off. You never know what you might discover. It's a reminder that sometimes, treasures are hiding in plain sight. That not everything of value glitters. That even a simple 1991 quarter, something most people would ignore, can be worth far more than expected. You might think of the 1988 Roosevelt quarter as just another coin you've seen a million times, something you might casually pick up from your change, or pass over without a second glance. But what if I told you there's a story behind this coin? A story that takes you through history, art, and even treasure hunting, culminating in a surprising value that might make you want to check your pocket right now. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of the 1988 USA quarter dollar featuring the Roosevelt design and the mint mark, P, minted in Philadelphia. Let's start at the beginning. The moment you hold this quarter in your hand is not just a random transaction, it's a piece of American heritage. The Roosevelt quarter, as you probably know, has been in circulation since 1946. It was created to honor Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States, who led the country through the Great Depression and World War II. What many don't realize is the story behind choosing Roosevelt and the quarter itself. Roosevelt was deeply associated with the fight against polio, having founded the March of Dimes, a foundation dedicated to combating this crippling disease. In fact, the quarter was released just after his death, partly because of his connection to the March of Dimes, which used the coin as a fundraising tool. Now, while many quarters look the same, the 1988 Roosevelt quarter is particularly interesting to collectors for several reasons. First, it's from a period when the U.S. Mint was experimenting with different production techniques and trying to improve coin quality. The late 1980s saw a focus on reducing errors and enhancing coin strike quality. The 1988 quarter in particular is known among enthusiasts for some subtle variations in strike quality and sometimes die wear, which means that some coins from this year may show different levels of detail, making certain specimens more desirable. The Philadelphia Mint, where this quarter was produced, holds a unique place in U.S. minting history. It was the first official mint in the United States, established in 1792, and it's been producing coins almost continuously since. In 1988, the Philadelphia Mint was operating with advanced machinery designed to increase efficiency and output. Millions of quarters were struck that year, making the coin fairly common in circulation. However, the story of rarity isn't about sheer numbers, but about condition, rarity of specific varieties, and collector demand. Now, let's talk about the fascinating journey of how these coins transition from everyday pocket change to collectible treasures. It's not uncommon for coins minted in the late 20th century to suddenly spike in interest as the decades pass, especially if they are kept in exceptional condition or tied to special historical or cultural moments. The 1988 quarter might seem recent compared to, say, coins from the 1800s, but the collecting community values it for its quality, design, and the story it tells about a pivotal era in U.S. minting. And here comes the big reveal, the part everyone's been waiting for: the current value of the 1988 Roosevelt quarter with the Philadelphia Mint mark. While most quarters are worth their face value, 25 cents, this particular coin can be worth much more, depending on condition and market demand. In circulated condition, it's generally worth face value. But in uncirculated condition, especially if graded by professional services, its value can jump significantly. As of today, a 1988 P. Roosevelt quarter in pristine mint state 65 or higher condition is valued at around $156. That's right, $156 for a coin you might have sitting unnoticed in your drawer or change jar. It's a testament to the power of condition, rarity, and historical significance coming together. The coin's value has been buoyed by collectors' enthusiasm, the growth of coin grading, and the ongoing interest in American coinage from the late 20th century. So what does this mean for you? It means that any time you come across a 1988 Roosevelt quarter with a P mint mark, it's worth a closer look. Don't just toss it aside. Examine its condition carefully, and if it looks exceptionally clean and shiny, consider having it professionally graded. You might be surprised at what you find. In conclusion, the 1988 USA $quarter Roosevelt with the Philadelphia Mint mark isn't just another coin, it's a piece of American history, a work of art, and a potential treasure. From its roots honoring a beloved president who fought polio, to its detailed design, to the minting process in one of America's oldest mints, this quarter carries stories worth telling. And in the right hands, it can carry a surprising value, making it a fascinating find for collectors and casual coin enthusiasts alike. So next time you check your change, keep an eye out. You never know when you might be holding a little piece of history worth a lot more than its face value. Thanks for joining me on this journey through the 1988 Roosevelt quarter. If you enjoyed this deep dive, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on more coin stories and hidden treasures. And if you have a 1988 P quarter or any interesting coins, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your stories.